We are turning 3. So let's celebrate our 3 years together online, having formed community from 2020 as Holy Hermits Online. And it's with great joy that I offer this reflection as we notice how God has blessed us by calling us into this ministry space. We obviously had come out of pandemic, which was a catalyst for many to rethink living. And since then, we have grown into a space of innovation and great potential for the future of church ministry. Not only have we formed a group of regular members who serve and faithfully attend at weekly worship, but we also have a flourishing study group who meets throughout the year, regardless of the season, to grow in discipleship together, which is quite remarkable to want to stick it out, even when it's not just Advent and Lent. We've named our heart for outreach and making church accessible for those who are unlikely to thrive in physical church settings. For whatever reason, a person might never walk through a church door. They can find themselves online with us from wherever they are, whatever health they're experiencing, from whatever neurotype they might be, maybe with different experiences in the past that they need to heal from, maybe also with social sensitivities. They could be travelers, people who go all about the place and don't stick around long enough to go to church and form relationships. Or maybe they're rural and their local is closed down. Whatever, we have everyone in our space and everyone is welcome. We've really created a lot of diverse ministries to offer opportunity for the varied gifts that people bring into a space. We have a ministry for spiritual direction and an online retreat ministry. And we're engaging in that ministry in the future, hopefully in a way that'll make it accessible also for those not able to be on Zoom at the time it's happening. We have pastoral care offered online, over the phone, or via Zoom, or even via email, which certainly seems to be something that's much needed. We're very blessed in that we've extended the pastoral care of our space with the cathedral team, as well as with other church partnerships. We regularly support one another. I'm amazed by the constant surprises I have when someone's checking in on somebody else or just remembering some detail that was shared weeks and weeks ago in the fellowship space. It's wonderful to see that we are truly bonding online, never having physically met one another. We are having those true Christian relationships of encouragement and mutually building one another up. And it's been amazing that we have found a home base at the cathedral, somewhere for us to have roots when we are doing sometimes rather experimental things in the online space. We're deeply enriched through the togetherness that we celebrate with the cathedral team. And in the future, we will continue to seek mutual building up of online as well as in-person ministries at the cathedral. And we already have received so much from them with us, as we have become one. Another thing to celebrate is we have our own app. I mean, that is just awesome. And such an achievement of a few of our volunteers, as well as our ministry partner, Tithely, which also offers us our database, safety and security, and our website, which is also a fantastic resource for gathering and sharing faith resources. There are many opportunities for people to get involved, whether they be tech whizzes who can help us build an app or do other things. And there are lots of behind the scenes ministry roles, which might be more suited to people who don't find that they're called to lead or be doing things where they can be seen to be doing things, but other stuff which goes into helping to create, make, and maintain our space. So we give thanks for all of those who bring their gifts and talents to that. And another thing I'm super excited about is that our worship, our weekly worship, is now primarily lay-led, which means that there are a few clergy bits that I or another clergy person might get to do if they're visiting, but generally it's our lay people who are leading. They are the ones who are keeping the space for one another. It's incredible. And this is the freedom of our digital resourcing, which allows us to have this opportunity. Another thing that I'm super proud of, and we have celebrated quite recently at our annual animal blessing, is our companion animal ministry. It's part of our DNA now. It is so much a part of us that we will continue to build it up as an outreach exercise, but also as one which nourishes us. And it's a primary thread of the tapestry that is our service. Our Holy Hermits Online Remembrance Ministry, also for the hermits of our Christian history, has been built up amazingly during this 3-year period. There are these wonderful people from our history who we learn from. They inspire us, they give us teaching, and often they do encourage us to embrace both solitude and living in community, which of course we celebrate online. I mentioned partnerships before. Obviously, the one where we have our roots at the cathedral, essential for us. But another really big one which we celebrate is our partnership with the Episcopal Diocese of Texas, which came about through another experiment with the Web3 Abbey in AltSpace VR, which is perhaps not so much what everyone's talking about right now. We've kind of moved on to AI right now, whatever that might be. That definitely led us into relationship with Texas. And now we are on a 3-year journey with them in pioneering a program and getting a group or a cohort together to try and see if we can encourage online ministry and mission for them in their space, but really just to get them in our space of the World Wide Web. It doesn't matter where you're from, where we are. It would be great to have others join us in offering different flavors of online community and enabling and accessibility. And alongside the use of technology and playful exploration of what the digital space can offer us as we join online together, we have developed strong safeguarding practices to keep one another safe in community and to make sure that we are building healthy habits of relating to one another. It's always a challenge. Wherever there's people, there's going to be challenges. But I feel as though we really have a lot to offer in this for the rest of the church, perhaps, to see how online boundaries are important, but also making space for difference is a priority. Another thing that we give thanks for is our guest teaching and guest preaching ministry. We have shared the teaching of many clergy as well as lay preachers from around the diocese in the Anglican Church of Southern Queensland, but a lot further too. We've had international folk join with us in offering this often monthly teaching opportunity. And that diversifies what we learn together and explore, but it's also offered that great connection so that people get to know about our space and we become known to them and theirs. So there's been a lot that has come out of that and many, many opportunities for collaboration in the future, which I'm looking forward to. Another partnership to celebrate is our Anglican Focus partnership. Being a publication, they are very ready to feature us, to have members write articles for them, which then go on to promote some of our activities. And many of our people have actually found us through Anglican Focus. So that's just fantastic to know that we have such an ally there who is helping us to further that invitation to come online and to be church community together. Now, of course, I have to mention our givings, our tithing. There's the giving of time and talents, which we've already mentioned in the ministry roles and vocational serving. But there's, of course, also the giving of value that people have in making donations or gifts. And we are a long way off of being sustainable just through our offertory gifts. And it's great that we have a bit of stability for the next year from our partnership with Texas to continue working on that and finding new ways to fundraise so that perhaps one day all it will take is for the giving of our community to keep us running and keep us going. So that's a goal. That's something for us to name as a goal, but also celebrate that for right now, we're not going anywhere for the next couple of years, which is amazing. And there's another one that I'd love to mention just to start wrapping it up is the open spaces that we have developed where we open ourselves up for the Holy Spirit to move us in holy wondering and respectful listening. It's a space where all sorts of new and exciting initiatives and possibly also some revision of things that we're already doing to refresh them and renew them. And sometimes also we discern that there is perhaps something that we can release in order to drive our energy forward in other ways. So our ministry activities are very much enriched by our open spaces, which often lead on to our workshops where everyone can come along and lend a hand if they would like to. And we've built structure for our leaders and our servers, as well as our members, to encourage one another and build one another up in fellowship at worship, but also outside of that, so that we are making connections and building those relationships. We have had a few of our members go to God ahead of us, so we've learned to mourn one another in the space. We have memorial prayers now, both for humans and animal companions who we might need to grieve. So we continue to offer one another solace in our bereavement ministry, and I'm so thankful that we have found a way to do that online. Of course, pastoral care being so important for us, we have also got our prayer group, making use of our prayer app, the prayer wall on the app, as well as gathering spontaneously for prayer vigil services. This enables us to really bring cares and concerns, worries, things that we would like one another to pray for, to a space where others can access that and join in that support. So that's been fantastic. And of course, I can't not mention one of our other very important ministries, which is our contemplative services, which we have once a month. This past year, we've taken inspiration to have a focus on holy hermits in those spaces, and the liturgies that have come out of that really resting on Compline, prayer at the end of the day, and also Tese, the beautiful chants that are very meditative and soothing. I believe that we're really on the right track here for our monthly contemplative spaces, and that's been a team effort. So a lot of the lay folk who come along as the ministry task group have done a fantastic job of forming that space. So hooray for us. So lastly, I'm going to say it's a lot of work. At times it does seem as though we are reinventing the wheel when we're experimenting and trying new things. It takes a lot of energy at times, and we really have to rest on what God is calling us to do and pay attention to. Sometimes it's a bit like a moving feast. We definitely found ourselves doing things that we never thought possible, never dreamed about. It didn't even occur to us to try these things before. But in allowing God to have our attention in creating virtual space, we find ourselves being able to do them and actually to thrive. Many churches don't know about us still. Many people don't know about us still. And some might not even want to know about what we're getting up to in the ether of the digital space. But we have been so blessed by those who do know about us, those who have joined with us, supported and encouraged us, gave us space and time and resources, and most of all prayed for us. So we give thanks for our members, our community contacts, our ministry partners, our advocates, our allies, and those who have been with us during this past 3 years online. And that includes you, because you're watching this video. So thank you for being part of our story. May we continue to make disciples of all nations, taking Jesus' love to the digital nation, using the vehicle of technology, and may God bless us and keep us. And happy birthday to us!